Hey guys, it's Matt Johnson. I've got Greg McDaniel with me. This is the latest installment of Real Estate Uncensored. Hope everybody's doing okay today. Greg, how are you?
Matt, I'm living the dream, man. I have had so much fun today. Was recording with Viral in the morning. Now I get to hang out with you and everybody on this call. I love recording with you. I've gotten, Matt, I don't know if I told you this yet. We've had multiple people come up to me in different offices and just, other agents, they come up to me and they say, "Hey, professor," or "Hey, man, I caught you on that webinar you're doing with Matt. That stuff is awesome." Or, "Hey, when you guys gotta keep this stuff coming. I keep watching you guys multiple times." I don't know if I told you that, but it
Yeah.
really is a boost to me, and I'm sure to Matt as well. So if you guys see us, man, just let us know. We love doing this stuff. Tell us topics, but it energizes me, and I'm sure it's the same for you, right, Matt?
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's number one. It's great to hear. It's nice to know that people are out there and actually getting value out of it. And like you mentioned, we want to know what topics that people want to hear because we've got so much stuff that we can talk about. There's so much content out there, but it's really about what you need in your business right now that we want to get into. So
Right.
we kind of picked a topic that we know is a really good fundamental, and that's why I titled it the real estate marketing basics, because this is kind of where everything starts, and it even backs up before you get into some of the stuff that we've talked about before with door knocking and farming and things like that. You really have to know even what type of client you want to work with before you even get into any of that stuff. So if anybody's watching to this recorded version, we actually record these live for a reason, because we want to get your feedback, we want to get your questions, because we want to give you the exact content that you're looking for. So if you're watching this live, feel free to submit your questions through the Q&A app or post them up here on this Google Plus page. Even if you stumble across this later, if you post up a question on the Google Plus page, we're going to see it, we'll get to it, and we'll answer it, and maybe even do a special Google Hangout on that one topic, because we just want to do the topics that you guys are interested in that will really have an impact on your business. So
Oh, for
with
sure.
that said, let's get into it, and let's talk about kind of your experience, Greg. Share with us a little bit about kind of how you mentioned to me before we started and actually went live that you kind of got into what you call like the wrong area. You immediately started going after a certain area and realized you probably should have gone after a different one. So that I think people probably make that same mistake getting into real estate. Everybody assumes that, hey, I want to go after this market, then they find out they're better suited for another one once they get into it. So
Oh, totally.
let's start there.
All right. Well, those of you who have listened to my story more than once, you know the fact I started when I was 20, almost just turned 21. I was a complete dipshit, to be very frank with you. I thought I knew the world. I didn't do anything professional. I was whatever. I was the furthest thing from what I am today. But when I started in the business, I started working with people that were 40, 50, 60 years old in multi-million-dollar homes. And there's only one way that I even got my business is through my father's, extensive time in the industry, and then kind of passing them off to me. Now, my business started like a car at a stoplight, okay? And you're in fifth gear, and and the light goes from red to green, and you start off really slowly, and then you eventually gain speed. That was my career. And that's what we're gonna not want for you guys, because if I had just listened to the advice of my father, who said, "Great, go out there and be the condo king," and I'm like, I don't want to be the condo king. Those things aren't expensive. I'm not gonna make a lot of money. I want to go make the big money. Very I was not looking at the big picture, and I was not seeing to the fact that you need to work your demographics. And we're going to talk about your perfect avatar and, work the people that are like you. I had another person that was on our team, and she was new in the business. She wanted to get going, and she wanted to start selling homes in the neighborhood where her parents live. Well, that's like $1 million neighborhood, and she's 26 years old now. And it's not going to happen. People have to like and respect you and know that you know what they're talking about. And it really helps if you're in the same demographic. So it's either gender, it's either race, it can be age, or a combination of all of them. But you need to take that into account for it to be effective in your business to see success sooner than later. Matt, I'm sure you see the same thing. Well, you see the same thing over there at Viral.
Yeah, we do. I mean, obviously, a lot of clients come to us, and part of I guess what you call like the discovery call when they first come into us as a client is figuring out where their marketing is, who they're working with, who they're trying to appeal to, because we're trying to build out this entire kind of online presence for them, whether it's a blog and all their social media stuff. Well, if you're going to put all that stuff out there, you have to have something to put out there to give people a reason to interact with these clients. And a lot of times clients will come to us, whether they've been in the business for 2 years or 20 years, and their idea of like a marketing proposition or something that sets them apart is the fact that they sell all kinds of homes to all kinds of people all the time, everywhere, anywhere.
So a real estate whore.
And
I will look everywhere for you. It's like, dude, but you don't know jack diddly about that neighborhood. Yes, but I can sell it for you. I guarantee you. I'll put you in there. You're like, but no.
Yes.
Sorry, I'll cut you off.
Everything from $1 million properties to spare vacant lots next to an abandoned warehouse, which which is just not it's not practical, and people don't believe it. And one of the trends that you need to be aware of that's happening outside of real estate that is making its way into real estate is specialization and the expectation that consumers have that you speak directly to them, that you are like them, that you understand them and their unique needs. They want somebody that's like perfectly fitted for what they're looking for.
Oh,
so totally like you mentioned, Greg, like if you would have started out, I mean, how much easier would it have been rather than walking uphill both ways in wet shoes to knock on multi-million-dollar homes?
That was such a crap day, man. I hate one thing about me. I hate getting my feet wet. I mean, I hate getting my feet wet if you have shoes on. So it was misery compounded upon shame. You're like, I'm out getting soaking wet. I'm doing something I don't want to do, and then my feet get wet. I'm like, screw it. I'm done. Anyway. Yes.
No, as someone that wears shoes somewhere around 19 to 20 hours out of the day, I sympathize. So yeah, I mean, how much easier would it have been instead of going after multi-million-dollar listings at age 22 or whatever, to go after, and not just that it's condos, but it's about going after the people that are like you, that are already in the social groups and the social circles that you run in. There's a built-in trust, there's a built-in rapport. And we'll get into some more stuff, but that's just at a very basic level. It's important to know who you even want to work with. And so, that's, I mean, talk to me a little bit about, Greg, when you have someone that's working with you or when they're coming through a class on marketing, on real estate, whatever it is, it's people want to jump right into like the sales tactics and the scripts and all of this, just the stuff, the mechanics, the tactics of how to sell real estate, when really they need to back up and figure out who are they and who do they really want to work with.
Right. You need to, well, number one, you want to look at what areas do you want to work in. That's going to really help define the type of people you're going to be working with and around. Then you need to understand how to dress to mirror those types of people, because the whole mirroring side is, I'm sure everyone who's going to be watching this, you understand that you dress like your customer, right? So if everyone's wearing three-piece suits and they're attending board meetings, you might want to dress in a three-piece suit or attending board meetings. But if they're, in Florida, they're wearing Tommy Bahama shorts, and and shoes and flip-flops, start wearing that attire. So understand those types of areas. Also understand the what goes along with those. So when I say go along, income levels, type of cars being driven. There was a guy, a really great agent up in the Pacific Northwest, and he had a bling Mercedes. Thing was just had all the bells and whistles on it, and pulled up to a house to list it, gets out and walks up to the front door. The people open the front door and they say, "Hi." He goes, "Hi, my name is so-and-so. I'm the real estate agent." They're like, "We understand that. I don't think we're going to have this meeting today because it already appears with your Mercedes you don't need any more on any of our business. We're going to hire someone like us." And he was just stunned. He's like, "Well, that backfired." And so he went out the next day and he bought himself a Suburban. Guess what he drives? So that comes down to mirroring and finding that avatar. So what does your client look like? Go look at yourself and then say, who is like me? Like myself, I dress, as you guys can say, I have custom shirts. I wear, custom jeans, and that's my look with a sports coat. My demographic wears that, and it's business casual. So I can actually transcend up into the little bit more of the older crowd as well, and I can go down a little bit, in the younger crowd, because they're looking at me as an authority figure. So I've found my medium. You have to figure out what your medium is. So take 10 seconds as you're probably talking. We're talking. You're probably doing that right now. Is like, who would I look like? And Matt, let's do a case study on you, Matt. Who is your avatar? Who is your perfect client?
Yeah. So let's say if I went back into real estate right now as a sales agent. So I'm early 30s. Okay. So I know how I want to dress. Similar to you, jeans, dress shoes, sport coat, either a t-shirt or a dress shirt underneath, depending on whether I want to dress it up that day or not. So I'm going to be looking for people that, at least at my age, are probably they probably bought their first house. Maybe they bought a condo. Now they've had a kid. Maybe they've had 2 kids, and they're looking for that second and third house. So now they're upgrading, at least in my area, into, let's say, like a mid-range home. We're talking about 3 to 4 bedrooms. They want the full finished basement and all this, the kind of the bells and whistles. They want that. Yeah. And so that's who I'm going to go after. I'm going to make sure that I drive, probably not a Mercedes, but a Lexus.
Right.
Or you drive a brand new $40,000 four-door truck because everybody and their mother has a Ford F-150 that's tricked out.
Yes, they do, actually. We were having that discussion in my office the other day about a Jeep Wranglers, $45,000 for a four-door Jeep Wrangler, and how you can customize them. So yes, yeah, totally.
Yeah, so I mean, I know exactly who I would want to appeal to. I know who's going to respect me for the way that I want to dress and how I would want to present myself. I know exactly what demographic is going to respond to that. So I then know, and I would know exactly how I would approach them and how I would interact with them on social media. Like I know exactly what social networks I would need to be on and which ones I don't need to bother with real estate based on who I'm appealing to. And so it all stems from that, you know, knowing yourself first and then knowing who you want to go after and the area that you want to work in.
So let's say you guys aren't where Matt and I are. You haven't quite established yourself, or maybe you're reinventing yourself. Maybe you're getting back into the business, like Matt said, if he was to get back into it. So do this as a very, very simple exercise. Take a piece of paper like this right here, nice yellow pad right here. Put a line right down the middle of it. Pros, cons of exactly what your avatar and what you look like, you know, what your perfect client would look like, and then the negatives about what your perfect client is and what you are. So you understand the dichotomy between the two of them. You know, okay, this is what my perfect avatar in my mind would be. This is what I look like and what I'm putting out into the world right now. How can I change or morph into the type of person my perfect client would want to work with?
Yeah, and that's a key there. You want to know, like, what are they expecting to see, and do I really match that? You know,
and do you want to work with them?
Great dating parallels there, which we will get into. That's a whole other podcast.
that could help me, Matt.
It could help you. Yeah. No, but I wasn't going to say anything specifically about you, Greg, but you know.
Well, now that it's been broadcasted to thousands of people, I guess we're going to the secret's out. But no, the fact is that writing things out is so simplistic, but yet so powerful, because our brains up here are so crowded with day-to-day lives, advertising, you know, things you can and cannot do in your personal opinion, which is totally false. That's a totally different subject matter. But when you write them out and you see them, it just flows. I wrote out my goals, where I want to be in 2 years. I filled up the entire yellow page paper in 5 minutes. I came up with stuff like, I want to create a foundation. I want to own 50 apartment buildings, 50 apartment units. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I wrote it down. And guess what? I bet you my perfect client has something very similar to that written down. You know, Matt, we were watching that program I sent over to you the other day about marketing and funnel systems and for online marketing and stuff. And what was he saying about, he like named his avatars, didn't he?
Yeah. So this is, if anybody is familiar, it's Russell Brunson, who used to do a lot for Dan Kennedy and Bill Glazer. And then he also taught like sales and marketing mastery for like Tony Robbins' programs for several years. So this was a high level guy. So he was talking about how he actually named his client profile to create like an avatar or this persona, which if you come from the branding marketing world, this is pretty common, but it's definitely not common in individual sales kind of areas like insurance and real estate and stuff like that, where you're kind of wearing all the hats yourself. So this is stuff that branding and marketing people are aware of. Like when Nike advertises to you or when Apple advertises to you, they know exactly the persona of the person that's receiving the advertising, and they're tailoring everything they do to match that persona. Well, you can do the same thing. So it was interesting. Russell Brunson went back and actually picked out a couple of names for who he felt like were his ideal clients, and then kind of filled in, like we talked about on the sheet of paper, what their characteristics were. And then he actually typed in that name and those characteristics into Google, and it spit out like search Google images. And he found a couple of pictures that actually matched and kind of resonated with his idea of his ideal client. So then he kept those, he saved those pictures, he actually printed them out and hung them up. And so he had this visualization of, this is who I'm going after, this is who I want to work with, and everything I do and all my marketing and all my sales and all my communications talks to that person. And I think in one case, I think the gal's name for, like, he created one for male and one for female, which is a great idea in and of itself. So he gives the example of, like, I think he named the female one Lisa, and he found a picture of a gal online named Lisa who kind of exemplified and embodied exactly what he thought his ideal client would be. And everything was based and geared off of that. And so that's a great idea just to get the juices flowing.
Yeah, and if you guys think we're crazy right now, try it. I challenge you to try it, and then write us and tell us how it turns out. I will almost 100% guarantee if you do this, you're going to become laser point clear on who you want to work with. Like I like Matt. I know who I want to work with, and that's who I'm going after. And so just have fun with it. Don't limit yourself. Just enjoy it. Just write it. Just go.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, and let's talk about how this kind of affects your marketing. So, I mean, Greg, you teach marketing, you teach social media on a daily basis to the agents that are in your brokerage. So kind of there's a huge plethora of options and tactics and all this stuff that you can be doing, and it's never going to slow down.
No.
There's always going to be a new social network, and there's always going to be a new shiny object that's marketed to real estate agents to tell you how to get more clients. But all those things are really, I don't want to say ineffective, but you can render them ineffective by trying to appeal to everybody. And that's one of the things I wanted to hit real quick is there's an idea, and it's been around for a long time, that I think needs to probably go away in real estate, which is the appeal. I don't want to eliminate anybody.
Mm-hmm. No, you do want to eliminate people.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Absolutely.
You want to.
I do not want to work with the 90-year-old grandma who wants to talk to me all day long. I don't have that ability and that latitude to have that much time. Maybe I'll sick one of my other team members on it. I'm not trying to be rude, but my perfect client is my age, couple of kids, doing the move up, so they're going to do a sell buy. I mean, that's what I'm looking for. But to swing back upon what you're talking about on social media, Matt, really quickly is quick story for you. At end of last year, I'm like, hey, screw it. I'm going to go try to bribe people to become my clients. And it sounds worse than it is, but what I did is I went out and I put out on social media, and I took different photos of I said, anyone who's going to work with our team in the fourth quarter of 2014, upon successful close of a transaction, we will buy you either a new iPad, iPod, iPhone, and then, we will give this to you as a prize, And so I posted it out there, and I thought I was going to get this huge response. Everyone's going to love it. Got 14 likes. Okay. I'm a little disappointed, a little crushed. My dreams of grandeur went away very quickly. Poof, puff of smoke. But and then I did this. At the same day I did that, I went out and got a new barbecue. Right, and I researched this stuff forever, and I got a new Weber, and I was out there shining it up, cleaning it up, and I was so proud of my new barbecue, my new toy. Then I stood back on my deck. I'm like, photo just of a barbecue. That's it. Posted it on Facebook. I got 70 likes and 15 or 16 comments of everyone hey, I'll bring the beer. Can't wait to see it, man. What you cooking? I'll bring some meat. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And it came back to me. How you don't screw that up when you're out there and you're doing your social marketing and everything else is you have to do emotional-based posts. Mm-hmm. Okay? It has to invoke some sort of positive emotion or negative emotion just to get a reaction and interaction from the people that are watching your news feeds. So do you think getting the iPad, iPod, or iPhone, I think it's iPhone. Do you think that's sexy and fun? Is there an emotional attachment? No. But barbecuing, they immediately go to sunny days, warm t-shirts, shorts, tank tops, beer, ice, the smell of the grill, cooking, the interaction of the people having fun. They go to that state immediately, and they're like, ooh, I want to go to that reality. Mm-hmm. So when you're out there posting, think about it right now. What could you do on a consistent basis to post to attract the people that you want to work with to interact with you on social media? It could be kids. It could be barbecues. It could be a new car. It could be, successful close of a house with a new client. I posted that out. I just took a picture of a front of a house, and I sent it out to a bunch of people. Huge interaction again because it's an emotional success. Look, such and such person got a brand new house. Wow, let's celebrate with them. I hope they invite me over for the barbecue, something like that. I mean, do you concur, Matt?
Yeah, and it's as you were talking, I was something interesting, and just a thought came up, which is one of the side benefits of marketing to people that are, in the same demographic, the same social circles as you are, is that when you do, you don't really have to market on social media. Nobody wants to be marketed or sold to on social media. This is why you don't get, this is why if you put something up about real estate on Facebook, it gets 2 likes, and one of them is your mom.
That happens, actually.
I know. I've seen that. Don't do that again. So going back to, knowing who your ideal client is, if you're marketing to the people that are like you already, they're going to care about the same things that you care about. they're looking at the grills. You know what I'm saying? They're looking at upgrading their house. They're looking at home improvement projects and, you know, buying stuff for the backyard and all this. Like if you market to the same people that are in your group anyway, you already care about the same things. So you can market less on social media and you can be yourself more and not worry about appealing to them because you're already in that same social circle. You already care about the same things. And the things that resonate with you that make you want to post are probably going to resonate with somebody else, as opposed to, I need to get more clients, so I need to post more on Facebook. Let's throw something up about my latest listing that nobody cares about.
Nobody cares about that, guys. Okay. Listen to this phrase, social media. First word, social, then media. You know, 80-20 rule, guys, or 90-10 rule. Don't post about that crap. It's not going to get you anywhere. I mean, at all. Crap, dude, I had a totally good story I was going to tell.
Well, let's talk about USP for a second. Maybe that'll spur it. So, if you know exactly who your target market is, who your ideal client is, and you know who you are, and that you appeal to that kind of ideal client, then you can figure out, okay, what's different about me, or how can I make myself different or present myself differently, so that I'm giving them something to respond to. And I'll use an example. I mean, there's probably the best example of a USP, which is a unique sales prop in real estate, is the guaranteed sale program. And it's not right for every area, and it's definitely not right for every agent, but it is very effective. Now, whether you agree with it or not, and the basic premise is, hey, if I don't get your home sold in X number of days, I'll sell it for free. And you can debate the merits of it or whatever.
Or I'll buy it.
Or I'll buy it. Yeah, that's the ultimate, which is that I'll buy it for cash.
Yeah, but yeah. It's
So,
nice, but is that?
But
really
it does set you apart. I mean, as a marketing tool, it's effective. So we can at least say that. But another example of a USP would be, hey, Greg McDaniel, the condo guy.
Right. Or this guy owns this development. He sold X amount of. I've sold 86% of all the home units in this development. I know every single unit plan. I can know exactly what I can get for your home right off the bat. Okay, why in the heck am I going to go list with Matt Johnson if Greg McDaniel knows that, and vice versa?
Yeah, exactly. It's either, regardless of what position you're in, whether you're the neighborhood expert, you're the up and comer, or you're the dominant agent that sells homes all over the place in an area, there's a way for you to present yourself in a way that sets yourself apart from every other agent. And you should be incorporating that into all of your social media and just the way that you approach all of your marketing. But it starts with understanding who you're appealing to, because if you don't know that, then how are you going to construct and how are you going to present yourself in a way that actually resonates with what they care about if you don't even know who they are?
100% correct. For me, Matt, one of the my point that helps stand our team out, I can do in the elevator pitch. I just quickly say, look, you know what? We have a team of 7. We've been in the business for 29 years here in the area. We've sold thousands of homes. Guess what? You get to pay for the price of one agent, but you get 7 people working for you. And we have over 80 plus years in the business. Does that sound like a fair deal to you? And people are like, hold on. Tick, 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 tick. Yeah, that sounds good, actually. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, contrasting that with the average person's experience with a real estate agent,
which is not positive.
The aunt or the cousin. It's not positive, number one. And it's someone that they know that's in the business. Most statistically, they're probably part-time, if that.
Yeah.
And so it's very rare for somebody to encounter someone in real estate that's A, full-time, and that B, knows what the hell they're doing.
And actually closes deals without getting sued. I talked to a lady. I was talking to a lady yesterday. She's getting. I had to put it in there, man.
Oh, that's funny. You're such a California guy.
Dude, we're a very litigious state, okay?
Exactly.
You step on my grass wrong, I'm like, you're sued.
That's right.
But no, I was talking to an agent yesterday who I'm doing some part-time coaching for. She's getting back into the business, and I thought, like, what's your unique prop? What makes you stand out? She's like, I'm a CPA. I'm like, oh my God, heck yeah,
amazing.
That's awesome. You've been a CPA for like 20 something years. You understand the financing side like it's nobody's business. Plus, you can go out and talk, with knowledge about the neighborhoods. Yes, if I was a very analytical individual, which I'm not going to say I'm not, but I'm not going to say I'm the most either. But, I would want to work with her based upon the fact that she could answer my questions like that when it comes to financing. Or if I'm buying an investment property, what about the 1031 tax exchange ramifications? And, what about my depreciation schedules and so on and so forth? That would be a value add prop for me if I was in the market in her area.
Yeah, I mean, and you can take that a step further. So let's say you're a CPA, or you have a mortgage or an investment background, which I know a lot of clients, at least on the viral side, a lot of real estate clients do have that background. One of the agents that's a little farther south of you, Greg, there in Silicon Valley, is a former investment advisor. He owned a financial advisory firm.
Yeah.
How does he do that? He carries that over into real estate, and he says, my goal is to help you make the best investment out of your real estate purchase.
That's
so
beautiful.
he wraps the real estate purchase into this idea of, I'm here to help you turn real estate into the best investment vehicle. So let's say you're a CPA, and drill down and make that more creative. Not only do you have a built-in audience of people that are going to be more receptive to your message, which is other CPAs and people in the financial services field, which you can buy lists and you can market directly to them. You can friend request them on Facebook. You can follow them on Twitter, because everybody's trying to market their own business. So there's a market there where you can reach out to them directly, people that are going to be predisposed to work with you. Then you refine that further and you say, okay, well, even if you don't have that background, but let's say, like you pointed out, Greg, let's say you're an analytical person. You find it very comforting to work with somebody that has a solid, firm grasp of the numbers, and that client is looking for someone to take them through and dig into the details and explain the financial background and the mortgage and all the financial details that go into the transaction. Well, that means that you can market to people in such a way that it automatically gets people to self-select themselves. And when they respond, you already know, okay, they know who I am, and they want to work with someone like me because my marketing already tells them I'm like this.
Yeah, they resonate with you because there's another level of trust. It's not just you're a good real estate agent, but there's that second level that you're talking about. Or what if you're a contractor? There's a guy right now that's coming through one of my courses. He's been in the building industry for 19 years, and so he's like, I'm tired of this. I'm going to get into business. I'm like, do you understand how valuable you are to a transaction? Because what if you're walking through a home and the average real estate agent wouldn't know what that crack meant, or what such and such meant, or what this certain product that was in the home is a defective product. Imagine that value prop. And when I opened his eyes up to that, he was just like, whoa, I didn't even think about that. I'm like, yeah, see how much more value you have right now? And everyone listening to this, please start thinking about your value. I don't care if you think it's insignificant. It is very significant. You haven't really thought about how you can change people's lives for the better, for the experiences that you've gone through. I mean,
and remember, even if let's say you're a young agent, you don't have a deep background in another career. Let's say you're making real estate your career right now. You're striking out.
So frat parties are not a skill set.
Skill set's a strong word. I mean, beer pong, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's some skill there. Yeah, hand-eye coordination, I guess.
Dude, I actually got kidnapped one time after an open house. No joke. I'm just dead serious. The people came over, the next door neighbors, super cool folks. We hung out with them. They're like, oh my God, are you guys single? Talk to me and my buddy Case. And we're like, yeah. They're like, you've got to meet our daughters. I'm like, okay. And they added like, actually, they're really cute. I'm like, okay. So not only did we didn't go over to meet them, they came to us, right? And they dragged us back. Well, we weren't exactly fighting. I guarantee you this does have a story to the point of the story here. So we go back over to their house, we have a beer to hang out with the family. One beer turned into 2, turned into 3, turned into 4, turned into appetizers, turned into dinner, then turned into beer pong with the parents in the backyard and in the garage. Greatest beer pong night ever. These people are crazy, but I love them to pieces. Anyways, that's my beer pong story. In real estate correlating together.
That's right. Well, so going back to before he broke his beer pong story on us. So the idea that you may not have like a past career to pull from. So let's say you're coming in and you're really fresh, you're really young, early 20s. Let's say you're fresh out of college. You don't have another career that you feel like you can pull from. You still have probably interests, hobbies, certain groups that you're a part of, social circles that you run in, where even if you feel like your only value proposition to them is just your real estate knowledge, the fact that you're a member of their social circle or that you share a hobby or an interest with them automatically builds more credibility and more trust, comfort, and rapport with them. Yes. So if somebody has the choice of, Aunt Sally, who's 50 years old and has been in the business for 20 years but doesn't have anything else in common with them, versus you, who may be new to the business, but you seem like you know what you're talking about, and you share some of the same hobbies. There's a mutual rapport and a credibility and trust there. Who do you think they're going to go with? They're going to go with the person that they're comfortable with, because people like to do business with people that they like. It's that simple.
It's totally true. It's totally true. I mean, Chris, who you guys may or may not have seen, just cruised into the office, is one of my business partners. He got into biking, right? Cycling, spandex and small tires. They're actually called a kit, just to clarify. Those are not spandex. It's a kit.
That's right. Everything sounds better when you call it a kit.
But he didn't get into biking for the business side. It was a hobby he wanted to get into. It was exciting. He was getting really good at it. And when you do something without any ulterior motives, people will come to you. My father Terry, and oh, by the way, that's been a major source of business for our team. My father Terry needed to lose some pounds, so he had knee replacements and he couldn't do the running anymore. So he went up and started joining my mom, who was ironically named Sally, and started doing swimming. And that has led to $5-6 million worth of volume just by swimming in the pool, getting healthy. So if you, like Matt was saying, if you don't have vast history, go get involved with a hobby, because that is your marketing time. Even if it's in the middle of a work day, if that's something that you're passionate about and you want to do, you're going to meet people you would never have met doing that activity, and it will just be fun. And as you become friends with them, they will want to get involved in your life and you with them, and it will lead to business. I guarantee you, guys. You just have to find it and don't limit yourself. Don't stay in the box of 9 to 5 in the office. I'm going to do this. I'm going to sit at my computer. I'm going to answer my phone. Oh, hello, phone. Yes, a client. No, that doesn't work anymore, guys. The phone's not going to ring unless you go out there and you meet people. People are on the move constantly, especially you millennials, you young versions of me. I was looking at
versions of me.
Yeah, I don't know where that came out. But we have a lead generation system. One of the lead generation systems we utilize, their back end tells me if it comes from a mobile device or a desktop or whatnot. And the first couple of days, it was very low numbers, and I was able to see where they're coming from. Out of the, let's just say 100 or whatever, right? 87% of all the people that had hit our site came from mobile devices. So that means you have to be out, you have to be asking for the business, go meeting people, getting involved with things.
Yeah, and we talked about this a little bit in the context of door knocking before, but the cool thing about it, as more millennials come into the market, both as agents and as home buyers and home sellers and all this, everybody is so used to being on social media. I mean, you can use it, utilize it for everything that it's worth, but the more people use it and the more people rely on it, the more it makes face-to-face communication and just generally picking up the phone and being able to have a normal conversation like a human being.
Imagine that.
But it really does set you apart. And so, get out there, knock on doors, go to networking events, get involved in hobbies, all this stuff, the in-person, the actual real stuff where you meet people face to face and over the phone it just gets more and more impactful every day that goes past, where people are moving so many things online, where it's all text and pictures and all this stuff. It's called social media, but it can be very impersonal, and it allows you to give yourself the illusion of being busy when really you're not generating a lot of business. And the people that focus on what actually generates business are going to be the people that win over the next 5, 10, 15 years. It
totally is. And, funny story, you're talking about the video, 2 stories here, 2 ideas here. For a while there, and this is something that worked so well, I quit doing it. So don't be me, keep doing what works. I was doing videos on just little selfies. I'd grab my cell phone and just be like, hey, this is what's going on. I was able to do this. And then I'd post on Facebook, right? And they would be short things about little wins or little positive things that I encountered that day. And I had a buddy call me up a while back last summer. He's like, Greg, hey man, first of all, if you're killing it with the videos, I don't know if you know, but a lot of people are watching, even if they're not interacting, and you got a good buzz going with you about the positivity that you have out there. And then he goes like, hey, I got a question about real estate. That was something that I really found to be profound. If you do short snippets about things, that it will bring value add to people's lives. They're going to start following you, even if they don't, if they're not watching you. So just keep that kind of a thing up and keep it going on your day-to-day basis when you're out in the public.
Yeah, and just the way that fits into your long-term strategy, if you plan on being in real estate for 5, 10, 15 years, is that you're constantly running into people, if you really pay attention, that are interested in real estate, but they're not ready to make a move, which is fine. They're not going to be your client today. They could be your client 3 months from now if you stay in touch with them.
Exactly right. You know, the old saying that my father has, told me for years is that the people you meet today are the people you're going to be doing business with tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So, I'm sure you guys know this. I'm not sure if you do or not, but 50%, well, actually technical numbers, 48% of all salespeople will never follow up with a lead one time. 80% of sales are done between the 5th and the 12th contact. So like Matt and I are saying, follow up with these people, make sure that you're in their faces. Well, not, in a bad way, but you know what I mean? But just get up and stay there, say hi, even if you don't think they're like, God, people must think I'm crazy. Why in the heck are they keep following up with them? They never return my call. It's called life. Your avatar that you built is going through similar or the same things, trials and tribulations that you are. So give them a little latitude, give them the ability to come full circle and get back to you on something. I had a client call me yesterday. He's like, hey, Greg, I'm so sorry for not getting back to you, man. And just because of blah, 45 minutes later, I got off the phone with him. So yeah, I took a left turn.
That's good though. I mean, this is really I mean, again, falling under the theme of real estate marketing basics, this is about as basic as it gets. Know who you want to talk to, know who you want to work with, know who you are, and know how to keep in touch with the people that come into contact with you. Because eventually they can work with you. They're not going to work with you today necessarily, but if you keep in touch with them and you keep adding value and you keep in touch with them in a way that's not like shouting them about real estate, then they're going to respond to you. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, absolutely. But Matt, let's unpack it really quickly in regards to when you say bring value. Let's give a couple examples of what bringing value is. Now, like we talked about on social media, posting an article about real estate is about as exciting as eating cardboard. All right, it sucks. You think it's pretty cool because you're in the business, like, oh, check this out, man! Look at all this stuff's going on. They're like, I gotta go. So Matt, how about you come up with 2 value add opportunities, and I'll come up with 2 value add opportunities that you can then engage people with. Something like this. Let's say these are prospects of yours and you're doing pop buys. And those of you who don't know what a pop buy is it's quite literally exactly what I'm saying. You're going to just pop by their house and say, hey, I was in the neighborhood in another meeting, but I want to stop by. I wanted you to have blank, 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 whatever this value add prop is. If you wanted to do something along the lines of a, I don't know, bottle of wine, if you guys had talked about wine, if you know that they're interested in that, you go to the store and pick up an article on something that might be relevant to their yard. If you know they're gardeners, realtytimes.com is a great archive of articles, and it's not all about just buying and selling the market. It's about real things. They have buyer articles, seller articles. And it's phenomenal for homeowner articles. So go get one of those, print it out, staple a card, bring it over to them. That's one. So Matt, what do you have? You have one?
Yeah. Well, going back to the idea of social media, bring value in that way. So you're talking about bringing value in kind of in person, basically. Mm-hmm. So if you're trying to provide value on social media, so there's a couple of good examples from viral clients. Number one was one of the clients went out and she took her smartphone and she filmed a short little video where she went to her favorite local coffee shop on a certain end of the city. And she just did a profile. She sat down with the owner, shot a couple minutes of quick video footage, and then emailed it out. You could also just throw it directly up on Facebook if you don't want to bother with the email side of things, especially if you have a younger demographic. It might even work better. Mm-hmm. So, getting involved with local businesses, local restaurants, coffee shops, whatever. And then you talked about kind of the home ownership side, like bringing value in the sense of, trying to be the source for everything related to real estate. A really good way to do that is to go out and build relationships with contractors, anybody that has something to do with home ownership, build relationships with them, help them, promote themselves online, whether it's through a quick little video that you shoot with your smartphone and throw it up on Facebook, or just a post that promotes their business, but something that is outward focused, that isn't focused on you and isn't focused on the real estate market. It isn't self-serving. It's serving somebody else by shining a spotlight on cool things that other people are doing in the area, or other businesses are doing, and then giving them, especially if it's wrapped around the idea of home ownership, because then you're still talking to the same audience and you're talking about the concerns that they have, but it's not self-serving in the sense of, hey, I'm right here ready for you when you want to list your house. You know, like a groundhog that keeps popping out and yelling
look at me.
you.
Look at me. I'm a real estate agent. Help me.
Yeah,
I have a car payment. Please help.
But everybody gets it.
Yeah.
So if you put content out like that, that's not self-serving, that's genuinely useful, genuinely helpful, everybody knows you're in real estate. So you still get the mental benefit of reminding them that you're in real estate, but without the self-serving part of asking them for business all the time when they're not ready to make a move.
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. We call that commission breath. You
Yes.
know, when you're like, please help me. I'm dying. I need money. They're going to walk away from you as fast as you can possibly imagine. But if you guys are sitting there going, well, I don't know. I just moved into a new area. I don't know any good restaurants. I don't know any places or stores, shops, or anything else. Go to your Chamber of Commerce. Go to your Chamber of Commerce. Get a list of who's new, or some of the better places in town, and go talk to them. I guarantee you there are going to be things that you've never even thought of that would be super relevant to the people that are in your demographic. Like for myself, I don't have children. So for me, children are just not on the radar. So I go into a kid's toy shop or a kid's clothing shop is not on my radar, but that could be super relevant. That's a really good idea, actually. I'm going to actually do that. I'm going to go.
You mean you're not going to go to a kid's place?
No, I am going to now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, that actually works. But I'm going to go and I'm going to interview these people and then you ask them, and this is something, Matt, I got from you, is you record it, you send it to your database, you give that same recording to them and ask them to promote it out to their database. So you're going double wide, not like trailer, but like you're getting double more exposure, double exposure to double wide. But you know what I mean. But imagine if the cross-pollination out there it's like when you throw rocks into a pond. If you throw multiple rocks, those ripples intersect with each other. It's the same exact thing that's going to take place through the different databases from these different restaurants that you're helping expose out about a product, a discount, just launching or new launching, rebranding, whatever it is. I bet you a lot of people are in the same different circles, and you're going to start showing up everywhere, and they're going to say, gosh, that guy Matt is everywhere. Mm-hmm. He must be killing it. It's like, no, dude, I have a phone and I go shoot it.
Yeah. And if you pair that up with a small enough area, then you are going to appear like you're everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what comes to defining your type of person who would be in these different areas. You younger folks probably going to be a lot of bars and restaurants and stuff like that. That's fine. They still do promotions. More established folks, a little bit higher end restaurants, different higher end clothing shops, different furniture stores, maybe car dealerships, all kinds of stuff. I mean, I just thought of cars. I mean, what do you think?
Not bad. They do have a database.
They do. Yeah. But let's not go, no offense to anybody, let's not go to the Honda dealership. Let's go to the Cadillac dealership or the Jeep dealership. And if you really want to go get aggressive, go to the Bentley dealership or the Maserati dealership, and help, they don't need to advertise. Okay. People know what those are. And if you get seen in those type of situations, guess what? People only know what you tell them. They're going to, their subconscious brain's going to click on going, oh, wow, he's talking to Maserati and Bentley and all these, Ferrari and all these people. He must be really good at his job. He must be connected. When in reality, he just walked in the front door and go, hey, who's the manager here?
That's right.
I want to help you build your business, bro.
Yep.
But I have those dealerships where I live. I'm actually going to do that. You're going to hold me accountable to that.
I'll get right on that. Now, if anybody, a great place for like more information, especially more thought-provoking stuff about all this, is one of me and Greg's favorite books, which is by Jay Abraham, which is How to Get Everything You Can Out of All You've Got. I cannot recommend that book enough. If I could send one out to everybody that's in business and beat them over the head with it until they read it, the world would be a much better place. So one of the key parts of that book, and it's part of his whole philosophy, is the strategy of preeminence, which is don't fall in love with your product or your service. Fall in love with the clients.
Mm-hmm. Do it for clients.
You do it for the clients. And that's where really, I think that's where the true success comes from. And that's where I think they get the most fulfillment out of succeeding, is when you let go of this is what my goals are. This is what I'm trying to sell. I want more people to buy from me. And you start thinking in terms of what can I give? What kind of value can I bring? And what really sets me apart, and why should they work with me? Because they get more out of working with me than the person down the street. Right. And that's where I think if people adjusted their focus more, it would make marketing a lot easier. It would make attracting the right clients to you a lot easier and a lot smoother, and people would see your value.
Well, because you're doing it for them. Desperation is a stinky cologne or a stinky perfume. It's not what people want. And yeah. I agree with you wholeheartedly, Matt. Concentrate on your clients. Be willing to walk away from deals. And as much as that sounds like blasphemy, be willing to do it for the for the good of the client. Another great book on negotiation, one of the best I've ever read, is called Pitch Anything. It'll help you understand the 3 different levels of the brain and what interprets what at what point. You'll understand how pitches are done wrong or poorly, and why sometimes people fail when they shouldn't, when they don't have to be failing. So yeah, Pitch Anything, fantastic book. Go get it. So the 2 books that you just heard here, go get them. They will change your business. I guarantee you that.
Yeah. Any cool last tips? Anything technical? Any other resources you want to throw out there, Greg?
I don't know if I've mentioned it before in the past. If you guys want to get a quick idea of what the marketplace is looking like at a 10,000-foot view, there's a website called homesnap.com. Again, it's homesnap, S-N-A-P, snap.com. Go on there. It's going to look like a Google search. You just type right in the middle. It says, in the only search bar there, put in a zip code. It's going to populate the main screen with little blue dots with all the homes everywhere. It's going to show you where that zip code kind of covers, so you kind of get to learn the marketplace if it's someplace that you're not familiar with. Even if you are familiar with it, kind of reinforces it. Go over to the left-hand side. There's going to be 4 gray boxes, okay? Click the bottom one. I think it says like market data or market reports. Click on that. What's going to happen is going to give you a 2-paragraph little tutorial on what the market is doing. It's going to give you a ranking on a health score out of 100 in the area. The last 30 days, buying, what's the percentage of buyers, are purchasing things, your inventory levels, your average price. And then you can look at surrounding areas or zip codes, so you can compare and contrast if you're going to be talking to a potential buyer or seller with knowledge and quick facts. So check it out, guys. It's one of my favorites. It's my go-to if I'm going to be doing anything with it. Also, you can screenshot that little image and you can put it on door knocking material if you're so inclined. So that's my little tip for the day.
Awesome. Well, with that, we wanted to keep this one short. I think we went 47 minutes or something like that.
It is short for us. It is short for us.
It is a little shy. I think we were on the phone the other day for 3 hours or something like that?
3 hours straight. And I'm like, okay, I think I got to go now.
Yeah, I think we're finally talked out. I think we broadcast a live one, and then we shot video after that. It was a long call.
It was a long call.
So yeah, with that, we'll call it. If anybody has any questions, we'd love to hear them from you. Like I said, post them up on this Google Plus page. Yeah. We'll keep this up and we keep an eye on it, because we always want to do future videos and future hangouts on the stuff that you guys actually want to learn about. We're going to be doing some cool stuff on more high-tech, high-touch prospecting. Yeah. So that stuff is going to be exciting. There's more to come on that. That's what we'll be doing. And then we'll bring on some really cool guests that Greg has in mind, and we'll go from there. So with that, thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Matt.
And we'll see everyone next time.
Sweet. Thanks, guys.